Hello children, what's up? I hope you all are keeping fine and studying well at home. So here I am with my new video, and in this video I'm going to teach you the pollen grains. So in my last class I had taught you androecium, right, where I had discussed the two part, that is the structure of stamen and microsporangia, and microsporogenesis, where I had discussed how microspores are produced by the microsporangia. All right, so today let us continue the same topic, okay, and let us see how pollen grains are developed from microspores and what is the structure of pollen grain. So without wasting time, let us start. So my dear students, I hope you all remember what I had taught in my last class. All right, so let's start. In my last class I told you that microspore mother cell, okay, which is diploid cell, correct? From the diploid cell, microspores are produced by meiosis, cell division, and this microspore mother cells give rise to tetrad microspore, right? Because it gives rise to 4 microspore, correct? I hope you all remember this, and they are what? Haploid, correct? They are haploid microspores. Now from this microspores, okay, when this microspore will become pollen grain, okay, so this is what we are going to discuss. Now you can see NCERT book, okay, page number 23. There you will see a diagram where you will see a cell like structure. There you will see a vacuole, and here you will see nucleus, which is haploid. All right, so you can say that this is a microspore. This microspore will give rise to pollen grain. So what happened? This undergoes, okay, this comes from microspore mother cell by meiosis. Now this nucleus will divide by mitosis, cell division. All right, and it will become 2 nucleus. So mitosis, yes, so it will become 2 nucleus. Now this 2 nucleus will not get separated, as what we see that nucleus, they get separated and they become separate individuals, right? But here what happened, they will remain together, okay, they will not become a separate individual. So they will remain together, or you can see they will remain inside this cell, okay. In one cell again another cell will be there. Then later on again, out of these 2 cells, okay, so what happened, one of the cell, okay, since these 2 are together, so one of the cell which is bigger in size is called your vegetative cell, and the other one is called your generative cell. I hope this is clear till here. Now this is ready to become pollen grains, correct? Now you see the cell develop into vegetative cell and other cell develop into generative cell. So vegetative cell is of very less use, okay, their function is very less, unless the generative cells plays an important role. So this is the cell which later gives rise to gamete, okay, formation of gamete. So this is how the pollen grain, okay, so what happened, 60% of angiosperm, in 60% of angiosperm, 60% of angiosperm, this develop into pollen grains. Am I clear? Now, if 60% developed into pollen grain, then what about the 40%? So in 40%, what happens? Again, mitosis takes place. So this, where one is vegetative, one is generative, again mitosis will take place, and it gives rise to, again it will gives rise to 2 cell. All right. So in 40%, what happened? The pollen grain, okay, developed by this 3 cell stage. So what happened when they land on the pollen grain, then this cells divides, okay. And in 60%, what happened, it is mostly they divide before, the cell division takes place before, and then it goes for another process, okay, for pollination. And here when they land, after pollination, when they land on the stigma, and then the mitosis takes place and they divides. So here you can see here 2 cells are formed, right? So this stage is also called as 2-celled stage. And here you can see 3 cells are formed. So this is called as your 3-celled stage, okay, 3-celled. I hope that this concept is clear to you. So this later develop into what? Pollen grain, right? Now, before releasing the pollen grain, so pollen grain has to be developed, right? It should have a protection, isn't it? So let us see the structure of pollen grain. So this is pollen grain. So suppose this is vacuole or this is a nucleus, okay? Now, it has the outer layer which is called exine. So first let us see what is exine, okay? And then we'll move to another layer, okay, one by one. So exine, it is the outermost, okay, outermost hard layer which is present at the outside, right? Therefore it's the outermost hard layer, and it is made up of sporopollenin. All right, and the sporopollenin is the most resistant, okay, it is the most resistant organic matter. All right, why it is called most resistant? It is the most resistant organic matter. Why? Because it is not at all affected. It is not at all affected by high temperature. All right, it can bear any temperature. It is not affected by strong acid, strong alkali, right? So no one can damage it, okay? Even the strong acid, strong alkali could not damage it, as well as the enzymes, okay? No enzyme can damage the pollen grain. Am I clear? So this is the role of sporopollenin, that it is not affected by strong acid or alkali or enzyme, or it can withstand high temperature as well. So this is about the outermost layer, that is exine. Now moving toward the next, okay, when we go deeper or the next layer, then we get intine. Yes, one more thing I would like to mention here, this outermost layer, okay, it has some breakage, or you can say some gap. So that gap is called your germ pore. This is your exine. See what happens, since the outermost layer is very hard, right? So the germ pore, means the gametes, it cannot break through it, right? So therefore already what they did, there is a gap, okay, there is a pore from where they can release, okay, from where the gametes can come out. All right, okay. The next is intine. So intine is very soft, okay, it's a soft layer, okay, it is not that hard. It is made up of cellulose plus pectin. Okay, so it is surrounded by this, all right, the innermost layer. So this is all for intine. Then inside there is a cytoplasm, okay, so inside there is a cytoplasm, and so cytoplasm is surrounded by a plasma membrane as well. All right, so I hope that this is clear to you. What is pollen grain? So pollen grain, if I have to define it, then I would say it is a male gametophyte, all right, so which contain male gametes. So remember this, if the question comes, name the male gametophyte in flowers, okay, in angiosperm or in plants, so you should answer it as what? Pollen grain, okay. So I hope that this is clear, that pollen grain is a male gametophyte. Yes, one more thing that you should remember, that when you saw, okay, how this MMC, that is microspore mother cell, it divides and then it gives rise to haploid microspore, right? So it undergoes some cell division. So you remember that in that procedure, in this whole stage, the first it undergoes meiosis, and then twice it undergoes mitosis. So remember from the journey, okay, it undergoes once only the meiosis and twice mitosis. All right, so this is what you have to remember. So next thing that we should know about the pollen grain is that pollen grain also causes some disease, okay, some allergies in human being. When we come in contact with the pollen grain, so it causes some disease, some itching, okay. So if you see, when you take a flower and you smell it, even you feel some itching in your nose, and even if sometimes when you use your hand, when you touch it, right, so then also you'll feel some like rashes on your hand, isn't it? So that is because of pollen grain. So in some spaces it causes severe allergies, all right, like Parthenium. So Parthenium is one plant which cause allergy, all right. As well as pollen grain is also used as a food supplement. Okay, most of the athletics, they take it, and in Western countries, most of the people, okay, in most of the countries, they take pollen grain as their food supplement, all right. So because it improves, even it improves the athletics performance, okay, it gives stamina, because it contains many nutrients as well. All right, so one more thing I would like to mention here is about the pollen grain, that pollen grain, it transfer right to the where stigma. So when it reaches stigma, then only the fertilization process takes place, right? Now, the question is that how long that pollen grain is viable or has the capability of germination, okay, of fusion. So in some plants, the viability of pollen grain is for 30 minutes, like in cereals, most of the cereals, rice, wheat, okay. So the viability remains only for 30 minutes. And in other plants, like in some family, you can say Solanaceae, in Leguminosae, okay, and one more is a Rosaceae, there you will see that it remains for 1 month, all right. So nowadays what happens, so many techniques has been come up, right? Like in human being, what is done, like sperms are preserved, eggs are preserved, right, which is later on used for the zygote, right? So similarly in plants also, the pollen grains are preserved, okay. They are kept in stock, and they're kept in liquid nitrogen under minus 196°C, all right. So this is how the pollen grains are kept. So in the same way, like seed bank, isn't it, the way seeds are kept and which can be used after years and years, isn't it? Similarly, pollen grains are also stored, all right. So this is all about your male sex organ in the last class, and in this class I had taught you. So pollen grain was the last part. I hope that the male reproductive organ is clear to you. How does they form, their structure, okay, the production of gamete, how they produce, the meiosis, mitosis, all right. So if you have any doubt, then just let me know. So in my next class, I shall be starting the female reproductive organ, that is gynoecium, all right. So till then, keep watching the video, just try to learn and make notes on it. So I'll see you in my next class. Till then, take care.